Hey, job seekers, Melanie here. It's a rainy Saturday in Houston, and I know some of you are still working on your job search even on the weekend. It can be so challenging in order to find time during the week to work on your job search if you're working another job that you're maybe not happy in, or if you're working a survival job to just help you pay the bills. And so we do a lot of our live streams during the work week, but I thought we should try to start doing some more on nights and weekends. So today is just a little bit of a tester of that to see if any of you want to come online and join me for a live stream like this. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be spending some time over the next hour saying, okay, let's look at some different people that are on LinkedIn and their different information and data, and just trying to give some free help to things that I see that are out there. Now, if you do find that you want to go ahead and join me on this live stream and have some comments that you want to ask, I would love to be able to answer some of those for you. Please just feel free, post a comment over in the comment section. I will do my best to get to it as quick as I can. But otherwise, what I'm going to do during this time frame is I'm just going to go to LinkedIn to my page, just like this, and start going down to my feed, and always in my feed, because I follow a lot of job seekers and people that are trying to help other job seekers. I get lots of things that are out there of, I don't know what to do with this. I'm desperate. I've been going for 30 days. And so I try to, as I can, in between my work that pays the bills, to go out and give advice and to say, hey, here's something you can do to change it. So, what I'm going to be doing today is some of that. Like I said, if you have questions, put them in the comments, but otherwise, follow along and see. Here's some of the work that we do, me and my team, on our off time to try and help job seekers. So, let's take a look right now and see if we can find somebody who's got anything posted out here on their main page. Oh, I love when somebody I see that they're finding a new job. Here is an individual, Todd Lucas. We've actually worked with Todd before, trying to give him some different advice. So let me see who else I can find down here that is looking for a job. Dun, dun, dun. Here's a person, Gary Admonson. I'm not part of your world, but I'm open to work, and relocation is something I would be open to. If you have a moment, take a quick look at my profile. So what I do for things like this is I'm going to go ahead and right click on Gary, and I'm going to say, okay, Gary, let's take a look at your profile and see what's out there. So if I look at him, I can see that he's looking for a new position, IT technician, experiencing QA. Now, here's an example of some feedback that I would give somebody like Gary Admonson. If you look at this headline, it's quite long. You can actually put a lot of information out here, but the information that he's putting first is the most important. And the reason for that is, do you see here when he's got his comment that he's done? He's got the very beginning, looking for a new position, and then giving these details. That's actually not the best thing for him. We already can tell that Gary's looking for a new role because he's got his hashtag open to work on. This is why that green banner is so important, because it does give you the opportunity to show people every time they see a comment that you make that you're open to work. So what I would recommend to Gary is to do something more where he takes this first part of this headline off. That way we get to see this other data, more of it in it. It's much more valuable data. Let me take a look down too and see what else I see on Gary. I can see his open to work is on-site, hybrid, remote, the different places that he's looking. That all looks pretty darn good. Let's go down through his profile a little bit and see if we see anything else in the profile. Uh-oh. Okay, here's a huge issue for someone like Gary. Do you see how his job here, beta tester, ended in 2014 and he has nothing else on here? Gary is one of those people that is falling out of searches, and this is important. So I'm definitely going to put a comment to Gary on his profile here. I'm going to give him a little support, and I'm going to explain to him that he's falling out of searches. I'm going to go ahead and tag him in the post so he has a better chance of seeing this, and tell him I had a chance to review your profile, and you are actually falling out of searches. Well, this is what happens when you try to type live on LinkedIn Recruiter. And he needs to fix this by entering a job seeker portion to his experience. So he has a current role. Okay, let me explain this a little bit more. When I go on to LinkedIn Recruiter, and I guess I could open a version of LinkedIn Recruiter here and show you guys this. Hold on, let me open another window and I can show you guys this live as to how this actually works. But I do need to make sure that I'm not sharing any information or data that's going to be, people's personal data. So when I go out onto LinkedIn Recruiter, and I'm going to pull up only people in my company so you can actually see how that would work. Let's get there. Give me one more sec. I'm almost there. I'm going to pull this up for you guys so you can see this live. Don't forget, if you have a question, please feel free to go ahead and put that question in the comments. I don't see any comments in yet, and I will do my best to get to them. Okay, I'm going to share this. This is the back of LinkedIn. What you're seeing now is LinkedIn Recruiter. And I have it, I'm forcing it right now to show you me and my team by putting in CGL recruiting. But I want to show you down here in this job title field, most times when people are entering a job title, they're entering it as a current job title. That's this button right here. So if, for example, I entered in Director of Human Resources or Human Resources Director, you're going to see that even me, I fall out of the search. The reason I am falling out of the search here is because it's not my current role. Well, if you go back to my profile, that makes sense, right? Because my current role is managing partner, which is this data right here of CGL. A director of HR was a past one. The problem, job seekers, is this works the same exact way when you end date your current role. So when you end date it, it no longer considers it as a current role. And then when I do a search for, I'm looking to hire an HR director, show me people who are currently HR directors, you fall out of the search. There's an easy way to fix this. If you haven't seen our video that we've done on it, I think it's absolutely our most popular video. It's out on our YouTube channel, and it's talking about lost. Why am I falling out of searches since I lost my job? It's our featured video that we have out there. You do need to take the time and go out and fix that so you come up in this search. So for somebody like Gary, because he has not had a job that is in the current since March 2014, that is why he's not going to come up in any of the recruiter company searches. Now, people will ask me, well, why don't they look at people who are current or past? Well, yeah, recruiters and companies eventually might look there, but there's a billion profiles on LinkedIn Recruiter. And so the problem is they have to narrow down the field, and they narrow down the field by actually getting a chance to go in there and see who's currently in a role. They don't want to pull people up who've maybe already moved on to vice president or other roles like that. So they want to only pull people who are currently. Okay, let me see. I want to make sure quickly. I don't see any comments that come in. I have seen people have joined now our live. So if you can see this live stream, can you put a comment in just so I can make sure that our comments are actually working? Because at the moment, I don't see anything in there. So I'd love if you could do that. Okay, so let's go back to Gary, who's out here, doesn't even know. Oh, there is one. Thank you very much for that comment. I appreciate it. Jenny. I wanted to make sure that it was working, so I appreciate you letting me know that. Okay, so going back now to looking at Gary, and the feedback I'm going to give him is, not he needs to, you need to fix this by entering a job seeker portion to experience. So you have a current role. And I'm going to just tell him there is a video on our YouTube site which will help you do this. Let me know if you need more details. Another thing I sometimes will do for people that I'm trying to help on LinkedIn and stuff is I will go out and actually try to attach the videos, because I know it's hard and you're getting so much data so fast that it's really challenging to be able to say, okay, well, which data is good, which data is bad, and which search do I do. So I'm going to, for him, for this case, go out and actually attach this video. Here we go. And I'm going to say, here is the video. And then attach it. And that way he'll have it. And hopefully he can make that change, and that will make his life a little bit better. Okay, let's move on from Gary and take a look at somebody else that's out here and see if we can find somebody else that needs some help with their job search. Here is somebody. Nope, doesn't look like they're open to work. How am I finding people open to work quickly? Well, I am definitely going through and looking at people that have their open to work, right? Here's a great person right here that's got his open to work on. Let's see if we can see his profile and if there's anything I think I can do to help that will make his search better. I do want to point out, so this gentleman has chosen to use little symbols like this. Symbols do not always work great on all versions of LinkedIn. Obviously, this one's got a little gaming console, but do you see this one right here? When they can't figure it out, it just goes to a box. I'm not a big fan of these symbols. I think there's better ways to bring attention to your profile, because a lot of times it just ends up people have a lot of boxes on there and it doesn't mean anything. Okay, so we can see that he is open to work. He's looking for a sales development rep, business development executive, customer success executive, freelance writer, social media marketing specialist. He is only looking for remote jobs. I can see that he has out here as well. Let's go down a little bit on his profile and see what else we see. Okay, so remember on the last one we talked about with Gary that he had no current job title. You can actually have more than one current job title on LinkedIn that will pop over into LinkedIn Recruiter. And this gentleman has done that. And let me show you what they are. So he's currently a member of this RevOps co-op. And this is current, August 22nd to present. And then he's got this other one, Rev Genius, where he is a moderator. And so that also is one that's showing as a current role. So both of those, if I do a search, are going to come up current. He also has down here a member of HYPCCCYCL that he's also, and down here at Toastmasters. Oops, I didn't need to click on that, sorry. So you can see all of these are going to come up as current job titles for him. Here is the problem with this gentleman's profile. He's got all of these great things that are called member, but if you look up here at the jobs that he is targeting and you see his open to work, he's not targeting a job as a member, right? He's targeting all of these roles. These are the roles that you want to come up in. Now, you can say, will he still come up in these search at all for these job titles? A little bit. And I know that it seems right to have a current job title as a member, but I want to show you how this works different in LinkedIn Recruiter, because I'm going to recommend he makes a change. So if, again, I'm out on LinkedIn Recruiter and I type in a job title, it's going to look at my current job title. The area that he has, and let me share that. Let me do that. There we go. Okay, this area right here, remember I typed in a human resources director and it's pulling up from the job title field. That for him, it's only going to pull up member. There is an opportunity when I'm doing a search under include for job titles to pull up people that are open to work in those job titles. Now, I don't use that very often. And I know a lot of my recruiter peers do not use that very often. Why don't we use it? Because we get a lot of people who are pulling just that job title into their open to work, but have no experience in it. And that's actually what this gentleman a little bit looks like. Now, would I say don't put anything in those job title fields? No. You want to put things in the open to work job title field because it gives you 5 slots. But it's really, really important. Whoops, let me take that off. There we go. It's really, really important that you also have one of your current job titles be the job that you are most targeting. So for this individual, which is Andrew Paul, I'm going to give him some feedback and say, I'm going to give him a little support and say, I don't have anything right now that's a match for him with the jobs that we're filling. I had a chance to go out and take a look at your profile. I don't have any openings that are a match right now. You can't see what I'm typing because I'm not sharing that. There we go. I don't have any openings that are a match right now, but I do have some advice that will help with your job search. At the moment, the only current job title you are coming up in is for the title of member, right? Because that is the only one that you have listed on your profile. The job title field is so important in your job search. You need to create a job experience section that has one of your target job titles in that primary field. I know this is a little confusing. Here is 2 videos which will help. Let me know if you have any questions. What I'm going to do for him is I'm going to attach 2 different videos. One of the ones I'm going to attach is the importance of the job title field, because it is absolutely one of the most important fields in any applicant tracking system. That's true whether it's LinkedIn Recruiter or if it's something else. So I'm going to attach that one for him here. And then I'm also going to attach in the same one I did, which is the lost, which will show him what he can do to fix it. So the first video will show why it's important. And the second video will show how you can do this so you come up in the search. And I will send it through. And that is how I spend any minutes I have in between going through job seekers, trying to give a little bit of advice here and there. I always try to attach a video when I can, because I am trying to make it so you guys get actual facts behind it. And I am limited by the number of characters that I can do. I wish I could spend my whole days doing nothing but this and helping job seekers, but this is not something, that's not something that pays the bills. So I do have to maintain my full-time job and running my company to be able to, when I have time, do things like this. If any of you have questions on your profile and want me to take a look, if you put a copy of the URL to your profile in the comments, I'll go out and take a look at your LinkedIn profile while I'm live streaming on here for the next hour and see if I can give you some advice. Until I get one of those, I'm just going to go down and see what other job seekers are out there that I can help and give them some feedback. So let's see if we can find some other people. I'm just going really fast. Here's another person here that I can see has their open to work on. Let me go ahead and take a look at her profile and see what I can find. So on this person's profile, I can see she's in talent acquisition recruiting. You would think a lot of times that people that are in recruiting and talent acquisition should be masters at this, but not all of them work in all of these systems, and not all of them are used to thinking of themselves as a candidate. They're used to, doing all the other parts of the process. And it's kind of like the cobbler, their kids never have the best shoes, right? It's one of those things that can be very challenging for them. So I'm going to go ahead and see if there's something that we can do to help her, if she may be fine and have everything she needs. I can see in her open to work that she is looking for a recruiter, sourcer, talent acquisition, project manager, or a community engagement manager. I can see the locations that she's targeting. She's willing to go either on-site or remote, which is good because it gives her a lot more options. Listen, I know everybody wants to be remote. Everybody, the first thing I ask or get asked when I talk with candidates on the phone is, can I do this job remote? And unfortunately, there's lots of times you can't do it remote, and the company wants you on site and they get to choose. If you want to have more job opportunities, going on site is going to give you more opportunities. It's nice when it can at least be hybrid, but it is what it is, right? Okay, so let me go back to her and take a look down her profile and see what we see. I can see her about section, the things that she is passionate in. She did a really good job. Do you see here how she's got these different areas of expertise? That is really, really good. All of that is keywords. All of that is searchable when I'm in LinkedIn Recruiter and I'm like, okay, I want somebody who has done branding. It's gonna pull right from here on her about section. I love that she even put what her superpowers are. Now, these are much more competency based. It's not going to be something, I'm not going to search for somebody that's am I going to search adaptability? I'm not. So she's doing that more for the people reading her profile as opposed to any searches. It's very rare that you're going to see recruiters and companies searching for competencies like that. That's something that they're going to want to talk to you and gauge in an interview as opposed to just having it out the other way. Okay, let's keep going down her profile. I can see the other things that she does. She's got her top skills. Okay, so she has her current job title here. Man, it's the same issue with her. Is Chief Operating Officer. So if I do a search, she's going to come up in Chief Operating Officer if I use that as a job title. If I don't use that as a job title and I type in recruiter, who's currently in a recruiter, she is not going to come up in this search. Now, it's a choice, right? She can make that choice. If she wants to only come up in the COO, that's fine. I don't think it is. I don't think that's what she wants to do. Now, would I tell her to remove this off? No, I wouldn't tell her necessarily to remove it, but she might want to put a secondary. You know, she's already definitely looking for work, right? Because she has her green open to work banner on. You can see it. So it's not like she's hiding that she's job searching. So she needs to really change to put it on here so she can have that ability to come up a whole lot more. I can also see she is making the change. It looks like she's done teaching here. It looks like she's done education here as counseling. She was actually the dean of the academic progress here. So she's just been in talent acquisition and recruiting recently. For her, remember, she's not going to come up current in recruiter. Let me see her other past experiences. For her, my concern is she is not going to even come up in the search that's current or past. So remember when I was out here with job title, the first one I'm going to look at is show me people that are currently in that job. And then I'm going to look at people who are current or past. She's not going to come up in that either for recruiter because she doesn't have it anywhere on her back of her profile. That's a problem. So we do want to make sure and give her some feedback on that job title. I'm probably going to take her offline. So you guys, I'll type it in, but I won't make you guys wait to see it because I want to make sure that I can maximize the time and give you some other different advice areas. So I will pull her off to the side and later on give her that experience. I will tell you too, there is another issue with her profile that I'm going to give her some feedback on. And that is two things. One is, do you see under this Dallas Independent School District, she's got only the top levels. There's not any data there on what she did underneath that. You need that data. Your resume, I'm sure her resume has what she did in those areas, but she's not putting that on her profile. And then she's falling out of keyword searches and stuff because it's not there. And I want her to be able to come up in those searches. So I'm going to pull her profile off to the side so I can be sure and take a look at it later and give her that feedback of you need to not only include this in on your profile, on your resume, but also put all that data out on your profile. And I will make sure that I also give her the feedback on the job title because she needs to know that. Okay, let's see who else is out here. If there's anything else that I see, if somebody that we can help. Let's see. I'm getting a lot of the same people, which is good that some of you are so active out here on LinkedIn. It's really, really worthwhile. You can see that I do see it, right? And other companies that are going through do notice it. Let me see what else I see. If somebody here that needs help. Judy, I've helped her before. Of course, because there's people that I'm following, we definitely see some of those the most. This person just landed a new role. That's a great thing. I'm very glad to see so many people landing. If you haven't landed yet, don't think that, oh, it's something wrong with me. It is not something necessarily just for you. Here's somebody that is doing a social Saturday, which a lot of people do to try and connect with people. Let's see if there's anybody underneath the comments here that is looking for work. Nope, just people wanting to connect. It's good to have more connections. If you're not certain on why you need connections, you need them because the way LinkedIn works, if people do not have LinkedIn Recruiter Enterprise, they have the one for recruiting and search firms. There's a thing called a locked profile. And the bigger your network is, the less you get caught in that locked profile. If you want details on that, go out and watch our video. That's why you should connect with as many people as possible on LinkedIn. Again, if you have questions, please feel free to put them in the comments here. I'm more than happy to take a look. Okay, let's take a look at another person I can see here. There is an individual here, Solon Baker, who has WAG and Rap as the headline, and I can see that this person is open to work. Let's take a look at this person's profile and see what we can see. Okay, so I can see that this gentleman is in New York. He is open to work as a retailer, sales and marketing specialist, sales analyst, assistant managers. So lots of different opportunities that this person is willing to do. Okay, so this person is looking New York, United States. There's unfortunately something that LinkedIn has done in the major cities. We did a video on this recently. I know it seems like I'm in New York. Let me go ahead and put my location as just New York. There's more than one location for certain cities. And in New York specifically, let me show you in Recruiter what the options are, because it's crazy. Okay, if I am in LinkedIn Recruiter and I'm over here at locations, which is over here on the left-hand side of my screen, you would think I just enter in New York and it's going to give me options of New York, United States. But you see this one that comes up, New York City metropolitan area. It just because you come up in New York, doesn't mean you're going to come up in New York City metropolitan area. I can actually show you this with Houston. So for example, for me, I am in Greater Houston. You can see it here on my profile. But in Houston, we have Greater Houston and we have Houston, Texas available. And when I choose Houston, Texas, one of my team comes up in the search, but I fell out of the search, which is crazy. Let me show you a little bit easier. I can show you so it'll see just me. I'm going to pull managing partner. And you can see I'm up in the search. I'm the only one that comes up, right? I'm going to go to location. My location is Greater Houston. But if somebody doesn't enter in Greater Houston and they just enter in Houston, Texas, I fall out of the search, right? That is crazy. LinkedIn, you drive me insane with this. I should not fall out of the search, and nor should job seekers fall out of the search when they have Greater Houston. They shouldn't fall out of the Houston search. Houston, fourth largest city, it's got a lot of suburbs and a lot of parts in it, the same like New York has the boroughs, right? So if you're in one of the boroughs, you should still come up in that New York search, but you don't. So for someone like this person, Solon Baker, the feedback that I would give him is send him the actual, let me pull up his profile again. I'm going to send him the recent video that we did, which talks about this location. At a minimum, what he should do, he can only choose one primary location. So if this is the primary location that he wants to come up in, that's okay. That's fine. But then what he needs to do is down here under the open to work, he wants to choose the other one instead of the same one. He's got New York, New York on his primary here, and he's got the New York, New York on his job preferences. It doesn't get him any higher in the search by having that location the same. It's a waste of a duplicate. What he should be doing is say New York Metropolitan in the open to work section. That way, if I search that there, at least then he comes up in that search and I have a better chance of coming up. I can see some other comments that have come in. I'm glad some of you have commented about the videos. I'm so glad those videos are helpful. We try and test each and everything. When I'm done with this stream here today, I'm going to record about our 2024 resume recommendations for you and how that has changed in the way that the applicant tracking systems are now looking at your resumes. So I'm going to show you some examples, and we're going to go through and give you that information and data for the 2024. So I'll record that today, so we'll try to release that this week. And if you have other things that you want us to record, let us know. I don't usually show this. I'm a queen of sticky notes. I have a whole ton up here on the left. You can see just a very small amount. These are my sticky notes of things that we've brought up and talked with job seekers of, okay, we need a video on this one because we're getting this question repeatedly. If I can't answer it, one time and I'm seeing the same thing again and again, it means lots of you are having issues. So we try to record one of those videos to help out. Okay, so what I'm going to do for this individual is I'm going to go ahead and give him this feedback. But again, I don't want to waste your time here. So I'm going to pull him off and I will give him that feedback in a different format separately by putting a comment on that post so I can show you more other things. Here's a little LinkedIn tip, job seekers, that I recommend you do. We actually all get caught a lot in seeing the same people on our newsfeed or the same things. And LinkedIn favors certain people's posts and company posts more than others. And so if you're just seeing the same things again and again coming up and you want to kind of change what's coming in your feed, but still see things that are related to hashtags that you follow or companies that you follow, every once in a while, go over to your LinkedIn main feed and you see this little thing here at the top that it says sort by top. Change that and change it to sort by recent. And when you do that, you're going to see people that have from still kind of your area that you're following and looking at, but they're more current posts as opposed to ones that LinkedIn is favoring. So for example, this one right here came up just 1 minute ago. And if you're if you're looking for jobs, remember, speed is important. If I get in 500 resumes for a position, I'm starting at the beginning, right? And if I, in the first 100, find 25 great candidates, I might stop looking at the resumes and process through those 25, get them scheduled for interviews, whatever I need to do as quick as I can before I go on to the next 400. So speed can be really, really important to your job search. So when you switch that from in your feed to top to things that are recent, you see things that people just posted, and you can hopefully be one of the first people that applies as opposed to number 455 out of 500. So if you haven't tried that, I highly recommend taking a minute every once in a while, changing this again. It's just up here, the sort by, change it to recent, and then see what comes up. And then you can go through and look at some of the different jobs. So here is, another person here, construction project managers. That's one of the groups I'm in that she has posted something that she's doing. Here's a talent acquisition thing, tons of things recent that are coming up. Now, occasionally you may still see something in here. You see how this, I can't highlight it for you. See how this is 2 weeks ago right here? The reason it's still showing up in my current feed or in the recents is because somebody just recently commented on it. So you're still going to see it come up in recent. If there's somebody that does something like that, it just means they did it in the last couple minutes. Okay, here is another person that is looking for help, I should say is open to work. That's Amanda Palaciano. I'm sorry, Amanda, if I said your name wrong. Let's take a look at her comment because I can see 65 messages in my inbox this week, 20 of them are spam. Can all the overseas resume writers, pyramid schemers, blah, 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 the bots stop doing clickbait? It's overwhelming, job seekers. Look, I know you have people constantly at you as a job seeker trying to get you into different scams. And I wish I could tell you that there was one or two universal rules. We do have a couple of videos on this of how you can spot some of them, but it is challenging. I know, and I know you're overwhelmed. I am going to still take a look, because here's what I try to do when I go out to these LinkedIn feeds. I don't try to say, hey, contact us and we offer one-on-one career coaching. That's not what I try to do. I try to give them a solution to a problem that I see on their profile. So let's take a look at her and see if Amanda has anything on her profile that she might need a little bit of help with. Let's go down. So, oh, there's another person in New York. Okay, so she is looking for associate creative director, head of copy, senior copywriter, copy manager. Okay, here's something you would never know on LinkedIn Recruiter unless you got to see it from the back end. That makes it really hard for job seekers. Do you see how she has creative director and associate creative director? She does not need both. You only have 5 slots, right, that you can put here under job titles. She doesn't have to do both, and here's why. When I go out to the job titles, and let me clear this one, and I type out creative director, you see right here when I do it, it comes up creative director, and there are these lines and dots to the side of it. When I choose as somebody who's seeking creative director, it is actually going to pull up anybody that are in these 11 job titles. This is where LinkedIn is actually trying to help you. So it's saying, okay, if they had associate creative director, I'm still going to show them in your search. It didn't have to be an exact match. In fact, if you have creative director or any of these, you're going to come up in that search if I do creative director, which is great. So if your company named you deputy creative director or you were co-creative director and I type in creative director, you're still going to come up in the search. This was a brilliant thing that LinkedIn put in place and really helped job seekers. But you don't know that, and they don't tell you anywhere. They do this, or they don't tell you, and they also don't tell me as a recruiter, as somebody who's purchased LinkedIn Recruiter, that this exists, or that here's the ones when I type in creative director, I have to look individually every time. There's no like master spreadsheet that shows it to me. Boy, it would be really nice if they did. So for her, the advice that I would tell her is she does not have to list both of these. She can, in fact, use one of those slots for something else. Now, remember too, for her, oh, she's got something else on here that's really, she needs to change. I'll show you something else. For her too, if she has creative director as her current role, which she doesn't, then she may not need to put it in there either under the open to work. Miss Amanda has another issue on here. Oh, dang it. I'm not sharing my screen right now. Sorry. Miss Amanda has another issue on here. When I went down just for a second to see if creative director was her current job, her current job is career break professional development. Okay, LinkedIn, you drive me insane with this. So they added this feature to try and help job seekers show, so they weren't discriminated against taking a career breaks for moms that took like maternity leave and people that took like medical leave and stuff. They gave you a chance to put this career break in here. Here's the problem with the career break feature. And before you ask, yes, we have a video that covers this and tells you not to use it and shows you what to use instead. But let me show you what happens. LinkedIn Recruiter doesn't recognize the career break. And I think I can even show it to you by converting her to a PDF quick. Give me one sec. Okay, all I've done here is I've taken her profile and I've put it into a PDF format, which is something that LinkedIn lets you do. So it took her profile here, right? And I asked it to change it to a PDF. When you change it to a PDF, it takes the data that is out here and then it puts it on that PDF so you can see it. But what it does show you too is you can see under experience right here, This little professional development should show. On the PDF, it does not show. This is the one that shows. It's the experience here. Can I make this bigger for you guys? Yeah. How do I get rid of this? There we go. Okay. The only thing that shows is this most recent. So what it effectively did is it gave her the opportunity to put this data. It gave her the opportunity to put this data out here as a career break, and then it hid it. So it hides it from LinkedIn Recruiter too. So anything you put out there under that does not work for any of the searches. It doesn't work for a job title search. It doesn't work for any data keywords that you put underneath it. It's the same thing as if you put Unicode, which people do, like they try to bold stuff on their LinkedIn profile with Unicode. When you do all that, it does not, the search doesn't recognize it as text and none of it comes up. So she has two big issues on her profile there that have to be fixed. Do not use that career break feature unless you are totally okay of it not going through or showing anywhere. I just don't know why LinkedIn chose to do that. Okay. I can see that we got some comments in, so I'm going to go ahead and try to answer one. There is a comment here from Toranog that says, so project manager covers senior project manager, associate project manager, etc. Let's pull it up and let me show this to you real time, what it covers, so then you'll know and can see. Hold on one second and let me get to that. Okay, so I'm here out on LinkedIn Recruiter. I'm going to go out to the job title fields and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to do project manager. I can see it right here. See the lines? Oops, let me come up a little bit so you can see it. See it right here, project manager. I'm going to add this and then it'll click here and it will tell me, holy cow, there are 58 titles underneath there. 58. So I'm going to scroll through this slowly so you can see this to be able to kind of capture for yourself what these 58 are. You can go back and this video will be out live, this live stream on our YouTube channel. So you will be able to see it in the future. So if you need to go back through and see, but like senior project manager is there, assistant. Let me go through this very slowly so you can see all of the ones that are out here. The good news is this is really great for you guys because you don't have to stress so much if you had project manager and some other funky thing. Like if you were even interim project manager, it's still going to count it in there. Now, please don't stress because I can, search if you have something different. I can put something and not choose the project manager with the lines, but most times I am going to choose this. And could I say, I don't want anybody that's head of project management? Yeah, I can unselect that one if I want. But I don't do that. I don't think most other people do that too, because we don't have time to be sitting here going through all 58 of these titles. Keep going. Holy cow. That is crazy that there are 58 titles underneath here. Oh, look, even things like project expediter. Like I wouldn't have thought that that was going to be under there, but it is. So if you're a project expediter, you're still going to be underneath. On-site project manager. There you go. There's the whole list of 58 out there. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you asked that question so we could show this because that is a great example of, you're covered if you have any of those titles. If you want me while we're on the phone here or on this live stream on the phone to look at any others, just put it in the comments and I will look at some of the others. Okay, let me see. There was some other comments. So I'm seeing so many jobs being reposted, even though they have been out for weeks and have hundreds of applicants. Why you think this is happening is even worth applying for. Thank you. Okay, so here's how jobs get posted onto LinkedIn. I'm going to talk first about LinkedIn Recruiter, but I can cover the other systems too if you want. So most companies nowadays, most bigger companies are using some type of applicant tracking system. And can you use LinkedIn Recruiter is an applicant tracking system. And some people use just that, but most people have it tied into another one, right? Like Taleo or SuccessFactors or Workday or one of the others. And so what they do is they start the process in their system. And they start it in their system because they open up like a requisition for a job saying, hey, we need to hire this job. It routes through approval through their systems. They do attach the job description, all their parameters, everything else. and they have a back end feed connection to LinkedIn. And so then in their system, they say post job, and the job posts through with their parameters. Now, the jobs will stay posted for a period of time. Sometimes they will renew the job postings. Sometimes they will take it down for a week and put it back up. When it's just renewing, generally, if they've got it open in their applicant tracking system, they don't close down a job posting unless they are really close to the end, like they've got an offer out, or if they, for some reason, are pausing on the position. Otherwise, they just leave the job postings up. And the reason they do that is because there's lots of times you get down to the final negotiation and the candidates fall through, and they don't want to interrupt their sourcing. So they keep those jobs going out there, posting and posting. For the ones where they've purchased, like if they're not doing like a job slot, that they've purchased a long-term slot, they're purchasing like a 30-day slot or sometimes 60-day slot. And so at the end of 30 days, it's going to come up to a message saying, do you want to repurchase this job posting? And they're going to hit it, and boom, you're going to see that posting again. Now, there's lots of ways they can trigger it to try and get the attention of new candidates out there, but is it worth applying still? It is worth applying still. If you like the job, apply. Now, always, if it looks scammy and there's a company you don't recognize, or there's, just bad details, that's a different discussion. But there's lots of times, especially nowadays, we get down to the finals. We think we have 3 amazing candidates. They make an offer to the first one. They have another offer. They decline. They go to the second one. The second one's already accepted another job. They go to the third one and they can't agree on a salary, and we're back to square one. And then we're back looking at all those other applicants. So I always think it is worth applying, even if, it's been up there for a while or it's been reposted. There's also lots of times nowadays, which this did not used to happen, but there's lots of times nowadays candidates accept a role and they're going to start on Monday or Tuesday, and we get a message like 24 hours before they're supposed to start saying, hey, I'm not going to be able to start. I decided to do something different. I can't tell you how many times that happens. And so again, if you're still in there and have applied, you have a better chance. While we're talking about this, I would like to cover, though, there are so many people that I see posting out on LinkedIn that are saying, in the last month, I applied for 1,000 jobs. And if you've applied for 1,000 jobs in the last month, in the last 3 months, in the last 6 months, you are doing this wrong. You are doing your job search wrong. The chance of there being 1,000 jobs that match you and your skills and experience, it's almost impossible, right? I mean, unless you're in a job that is so prevalent. If you're a nurse, nurses have a ton of job opportunities available right now. But for most people, there's not that many jobs that you truly qualify for. But people are just out there saying, yeah, I'd like to join Tesla. I'm just going to apply to everything. Yeah, I'd like to join Exxon. I'm just going to apply for everything. Or, well, I could do that job. I've never done it before, but I know I could do that job. And they just apply for them all. The problem with that is when you do that, you come in the applicant tracking system. If I have looked at you 15 times for jobs that you do not qualify for and have no skills and experience, I'm probably not going to look at you at all for the next 15 times you apply. I'm going to mark you in the system. It's just you apply for everything. Because if somebody is coming through 100 times on the thing and I see that they're not using any judgment to say that they fit the position and they're just trying to get in, it's bad judgment. It's not a good way to do it at all. So please, you have to be a 75% match or better to the job to apply to it. Don't be applying to just absolutely everything. You will get tagged in a system and then nobody's going to look at your data. You don't want that. Okay. I hope that answered your question. Actionable wishes. If not, let me know and I will go back and see. Let's see. I see this one. Technical support does that too. It's a very wide net it casts. Let's see. I don't know what technical support looks like in LinkedIn Recruiter. Let me see what that job title looks like, and I can show it to you guys live. It doesn't look like I have one that's available that's just technical support, right? So it's wanting me to say technical support specialist, engineer, representative, analyst, one of those. Let's just, for the sake of this, look at technical support specialist, and we can look at some of the ones that are under there. You can see this one has 15 job titles. So under those 15, let's see what we have. Wait, I'm going to hide this so it'll pull me down a little bit. Okay. So here are the job titles that it has underneath technical support specialist. Let me pull up one of the others so you can see one of the other ones. Let's pull technical support engineer. So under technical support specialist, it has these. Sorry. Let's see what it has under technical support engineer. It has 5, and these all definitely say engineer somewhere in the job title. Let me see if there was one more out there that we want to look at. Let's go technical support consultant. This one has 2, and they want the word consultant in there. So if you are a technical support person, if you are an engineer, you're going to want to put that in there. If you weren't, and you had it more that you think aligns with one of these, you're going to want to put technical support specialist. Now, again, I can choose to type in something completely different than that. I can say just technical support. Let me show you what this does. I'm going to pull these off. It doesn't like it when I do it. See, is why it leaves it here. But I can force it to just do the one job title. And then when I choose to go that way, it's only going to pull that very one specific way that I entered it. It will pull it from several different places, but it's only going to pull that one title. Okay, let me see if there is any other questions out here that I can answer. Nope, I think we're good. If you have any other questions, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I will definitely make sure that we get to you. But let me see if we can pull up somebody else. Oh, first, let me go save this other person so I can make sure that we can give Amanda that data about do not use this career break and the other information that we saw. When I'm done with this call, I will do that. Okay, so let's go down to some of the other. You know what? Something I would like to show you is, I got you on here because I hope that you guys are all in job search mode. I saw one of the posts that were early on. You see this one here, this person, Cavia Ready. Do you see how this is from construction and project managers? That is one of the groups that I'm in. And so it's, even though that person and I are not connected. Wait, let me show you. She and I are a third plus, right? So she is not one of my first level connections. So she's not, as a norm, going to come up in my feed. And she's also not somebody that I follow, right? Because I don't know who she is so much. So she's not going to come up in my feed. She can still come up in my feed by being part of a group that I'm in, which is what just happened with that construction and project managers. So how can you, as a job seeker, use this to your advantage? Go into groups that are similar people that are going to be hiring for the positions you're looking for. Don't just be in a bunch of job seeker groups. If you are in HR, join some HR groups so that other HR people who may be hiring for a position like you will see it. Let's say you're not in HR. Let's say you're a technical support person, but you want some recruiters to see you. Join one of the recruiter groups. And then when you do a comment into that group and say, hi, my name is Melanie. I know there's a lot of recruiters in this group. I would really appreciate if any of you guys have an opening for a technical support specialist. Here's what I'm great at. And do a post all about that. And it'll go into the feed of anybody who is part of that group, or randomized goes into the feed of anybody who's part of that group. It's a great way to get yourself seen a little bit more. Another way that you can do this is you can do it, excuse me, you can do this by using hashtags. And LinkedIn's made a lot of changes to the hashtags. It's driving me crazy. I feel like they're going down a path and they're not telling us what the end result's going to be. But there are certain hashtags like hashtag human resources, hashtag HR, hashtag recruiters that HR and recruiters use. So if you're trying to say a job posting, hey, I'm looking for a job, instead of using hashtag job seekers. Use hashtag HR, hashtag recruiters on your post so you randomize into the feed of the people that are doing the hiring as opposed to other job seekers who may not be able to help you. So think about who you're doing it, who you're trying to angle your post to. Okay, I can see another comment that came in. Let me go ahead and show this. LinkedIn started to limit how many I connect to. This is driving me insane. Yes. How can I connect without an introduction? I don't think my future managers would like me to do connect without an introduction. Yeah, LinkedIn has been locking down on this pretty hard lately. You only get so many in-mail messages, you only get so many invites. It can be very, very challenging. The way to do this easier is to not go out and send always an invite, but say, I'm open to connect for anybody who is open and willing. Because some people have a higher level of LinkedIn than you and they get more connections. They get more ability to connect and send those messages out. They get the ability to send more emails. So sometimes saying that I'm open to connect in a group or to comments can be just as powerful than the other. I wish there was a better answer for this, but LinkedIn's not being great about how many they're giving people at the moment. Okay, let's see. Somebody else said, I think first impressions are lasting impressions. I don't think without an introduction is a great way to be seen. I can agree with that. I definitely, if you can do that introduction, it's good. It's okay, though, if you can't get an introduction to still reach out to some people. There's a reason when you have LinkedIn, Premium LinkedIn Recruiter, you have the ability for people to send you in-mails for free. You don't have to have an introduction to do that. You can just send an in-mail to free to those people. If you do it, though, please get to the point as quick as you possibly can. As quick as you can, because they're going to skim, like everybody skims everything nowadays. So in the beginning, put, I wanted to, I was hoping to talk with you about this project management role because it's a really great fit to my skills. Here are the skills I have that you are looking for in the job description. You're looking for a PMP, I am PMP certified. You're looking for somebody that's got a bachelor's in engineering, I have an industrial engineering degree. Whatever it is, get their attention fast, because if they have that setting open where anybody can send them an in-mail, they're getting a lot of in-mails. Okay, let's see. I'm glad that the information is helpful on using the groups and the hashtags. It's easy to get caught into just looking at other job seekers. And it's a good thing, right? I'm not saying don't connect and talk with other job seekers. You need the support. And all these systems change constantly. That's why I'm always testing things. If you ever look at my profile on any random day, you will see that I've got things out there that I'm trying to test. Like, I'll give you a great example of this. Let me show you my profile. We were working with LinkedIn to test some things. And one of the things that because I opened the help ticket with them about this career break and trying to explain and show how it does not come through to LinkedIn Recruiter and how it causes a disservice to job seekers. And so I was working with a LinkedIn team on a help ticket for it. And so I have this out here. There's lots of times you'll see on my profile where I'm testing different things. And so I'll be changing my job title, and I always try to put something out here saying I'm testing this feature or doing something, so people know, no, I'm not looking for a new job, or no, I'm not doing this, and no, I didn't all of a sudden get 4 new degrees. It's just me testing different things, trying to see what comes up in the search and what doesn't. But my point is, you get so much feedback and so many information from career coaches and people that are job coaches who say, oh yeah, I know how to do this. But what they're giving you is, oh, well, I don't think you should do this. And if you ask them why, they're like, well, just because I think that's the way people think. I don't recommend you follow that advice if they can't give you either very, very sound reasoning as to why they're telling you, or show you some facts, show you some information of why this or that makes sense. If you don't get that data from them, it's just not worth taking that advice. You're going to do something that hurts you. Great example, drives me crazy. People saying, don't turn on your open to work green banner. Turn on that open to work green banner. Whoops, sorry. Unless you are actively in a job that you're worried about jeopardizing. Because if you don't, the only people that can see you're open to work are people that have LinkedIn Recruiter. The other way, everybody can see. So every comment you make, everything that they see, they can see that you're open to work. Okay, we just hit 1 hour. That was my alarm going off. So I'm actually going to try and kind of bring this to an end. If you have any other questions, put them in, and I will make sure and get them answered before I hang this up. Thank you for the nice comments that some of you have made in there. I do want to say one day LinkedIn does this and the next day it isn't there. Yes, they do that all the time. And something else that they do is when they roll out things, they don't roll it out to everybody. They roll it out to just little groups of people. And so when people are getting advice, sometimes they're like, well, my LinkedIn doesn't look like that. And one of the examples of this is the open to work section. Some people still have the old one where it doesn't have the same options, and it has things out there that are like, here's what I'm seeking for my next job, like medical benefits and things like that. It drives me insane. Just make everybody the same so everybody's on the same level playing field and they come up the same in LinkedIn Recruiter. They don't. Is there a place to find daily changes on LinkedIn? There's not a place that I am aware of that you can absolutely find daily changes. There are lots of different individuals who do LinkedIn newsletters who try to give advice on this. It's one of the things that I try to do every day that I can. I try to put something out there that I see tripping up a lot of job seekers or something that I've noticed that's changed. We do YouTube videos, we do shorts, we do Instagram, we do X, we do Reels on Facebook, trying to do some of these shorter ones that we see change and do. But there's not one that I think that's out there that absolutely covers everything because there's just too much. And this is why LinkedIn is the behemoth and it has no competitors, is because it's not meant for job seekers, right? It's originally was a business networking and business connecting. And now it's turned into a way for different peer groups to work together in the groups, and the way for companies to market their products and services, and a way for sales and business development people to get into these companies. That's why they have not only LinkedIn Premium, LinkedIn Recruiter, LinkedIn Talent Finder, they have LinkedIn Sales Navigator. There's all these different products, LinkedIn Learning, that they have that they're trying to make it a we're in everything. I don't know that there's anybody that can keep up with all of that. But if you're a job seeker, man, I'm doing my best. And I got a great team that helps, including job seekers who send me messages saying, hey, I saw this change. Are you aware of this? You might want to consider doing a video on this or covering this. And then I'll go off and test it and we see where we go. But yeah, it's a full-time job. Like I said, I wish I could do this full-time, nothing but this, but I got to pay the bills like everybody else. So, okay, let's see where we are. Okay. Blasando. Oh, you had a question. Let's see. I'm sorry if I missed your question. Oh, I did miss your question. Is there a difference between entry level and junior positions? I'm transitioning to data analysis and it's confusing knowing where to put my energies. No, there is no difference. I will tell you that the words entry level and junior, people are careful with using those terms because they don't want to age discriminate, right? And so when you see entry level, I think it's used more nowadays than junior because junior was seen as something that was age related. For either case, any job title that's out there, there's no one place where people pull job titles and they stay consistent. So a great example of this is banking, right? You can be a VP in a bank a lot easier than you can be a VP in a public company. And it's because that's one of the things that they do. They give titles easier. But it's it's not that a VP here is going to be the same level of responsibility or salary or anything else from this company or this industry to this one. It's the same thing with data entry and junior. When we as HR people, those of us that have an emphasis more on compensation, and we're trying to come up with salary surveys, one of the first steps in the process when we're trying to decide, what the salaries are and what the market data is showing us, is trying to do just that, which is rectifying all these job titles into the same bucket, into the same range. So we're looking, if one company calls it a technical support specialist and this one calls it a technical support associate, are they in fact under the job duties requiring the same education and experience, performing the same functions, so we know which ones to put together in a grade. So what I net would say to you is, if you think that's a great job for you and you have the skills and experience to do it, and you're a 75% match, it doesn't matter. Junior entry level, apply for it and go forward and see if it maybe is that next great career leap that you're hoping for. Okay, did I miss anybody else? Let me see. This is thank you for sharing this. So Chernolucas, I'm sure I said that wrong, said that would be a change log. It's not a standard thing provided to users. Microsoft has never been big on transparency. It's funny you say this, because somebody else had said this to me at one point in time, and I went out and searched to see if I could find a change log for LinkedIn Recruiter, and I cannot find one. I have searched high and low. I have never been able to locate one. I would love one of those, so then we could cover and do. A lot of times I see changes happen in LinkedIn Recruiter, and the only way I'm able to even figure out what it's doing is to test it and say, okay, I got to go out and test this feature of this new search 50 different ways against 50 different populations to see how the change they made is working, because they're not great on the documentation either, even for us, as to how to use it. That would be great if we had that. I would love that. Let me see. I'm trying to be thorough. Thank you for that comment. I'm a tester. The last thing I want to do, job seekers, is give you data that I feel like hasn't been tested or that I can't say is not going to harm your job search. And I will tell you that LinkedIn changes it, and what worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. So we're going to keep on it. We were doing, I was doing this test today just to make sure, because it's been a while. I think some of you know I was out of the office for a little bit for an issue with one of our kiddos, which all is good now. Everything's healthy. But I want to try and get some more of these live streams back and going again, so we can answer more of your questions live that you might have. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Hit that little bell button so you get notified when we do live streams like this, when we release new videos. We're going to do hopefully another live stream after hours next week. So, and please share it with other job seekers. So hopefully they can get the same help and assistance. I'm always willing to stay on until we get all the questions answered. So just let me know and we will do our best to get everybody answered and taken care of. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, making sure that everything is still working like it should work and stuff. If there's anything you want me to cover for the next live stream coming up, please go ahead and put a comment out here on this one after it saves to our YouTube channel, and I'll make sure that we tee that up for the next live stream that we do. I hope you have an enjoyable rest of your Saturday. If there's anything else you need, you know where I am. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.